Have you ever wondered about the real ending of John Hammond? A man very different from the one in the movie. He believed he was always in control. But ironically, he died alone. Not at the claws of a towering predator. Hammond dropped heavily onto the damp hillside and tried to catch his breath. "Dear God, it's hot," he thought, wiping sweat from his brow. Heat and humidity pressed in on him. It felt like he was breathing through a sponge. He looked down toward the stream bed, now nearly 40 feet below where he had climbed. It felt like he'd been climbing for hours, just hours since he left the water behind and started up the hill. His ankle was already swollen, dark purple, hot to the touch. There was no way he could put any weight on it. He was forced to climb the hillside by hopping on the other leg, which now ached from the effort. He was thirsty. Before leaving the stream behind, he had drunk from it, even knowing it was foolish. Now he felt dizzy. Sometimes the world spun. His balance was faltering. But he knew he had to keep climbing the hill and reach the trail above. More than once, he thought he'd heard footsteps on the path in the hours before. Each time he'd called for help, but for some reason his voice had never carried far enough, and no one had come. So, as the afternoon wore on, he realized he would have to climb the hill, injured leg or not. And that was what he was doing now. Those damn kids. Hammond shook his head, trying to clear it. He had been climbing for more than an hour and had only managed a third of the distance uphill. He was tired, panting like an old dog. His leg throbbed. He felt dizzy. Of course, he knew perfectly well he wasn't in any real danger. He was almost within sight of his cabin, for God's sake. But he had to admit he was tired. Sitting there on the hillside, he found he didn't really want to move anymore. And why shouldn't he be tired? He was 76 years old. That wasn't an age for climbing hills. Although he was in excellent shape for a man of his years. He personally expected to live to 100. It was just a matter of taking care, handling things as they came. And he certainly had plenty of reasons to live. More parks to build, more wonders to create. He heard a cry, then a chirp, bird-like calls skipping through the undergrowth. All afternoon, he had been hearing small animals, rats, possums, snakes. The cry grew louder, and bits of soil rolled down the hillside. Somewhere beyond him, something moved. And then, he saw it. A dark green animal hopping down the slope toward him. Another followed, and another. Compys, he thought, shivering. Scavengers. They didn't look dangerous, almost the size of chickens, heads bobbing in short, twitchy, nervous motions like birds. But Hammond knew they were dangerous. Their bite carried a slow-acting venom used to kill animals that couldn't move. Animals that couldn't move, he thought, frowning. The first Compy crouched on the slope, staring at him, about 5 feet away, just out of reach. Others came down soon after, lining up to watch. They hopped in place, chirping, tiny clawed hands twitching. "Get out!" he shouted, throwing a stone. The Compys stepped back, but only a few feet. They weren't afraid. They seemed to know he couldn't hurt them. Furious, Hammond tore a branch from a tree and swung it at them. The Compys dodged easily, nibbling the leaves, chirping with joy, as if they thought the old man was playing some kind of game. Hammond thought again of the venom. He remembered one of the animal handlers being bitten by a Compy in a cage. The man had said the venom was like a narcotic, soothing, soporific, painless. The victim simply wanted to go to sleep. To hell with that, Hammond thought. He took a stone, aimed carefully, and threw, hitting a Compy square in the chest. The little animal gave a cry of alarm, tumbled backward, rolling over its tail. The rest backed away at once. After the others backed away, Hammond turned and began climbing the hill once more. Branches in both hands, he hopped on his left leg, pain burning deep in his thigh. He had gone no more than 3 meters when one of the Compys leapt onto his back. He flailed his arms wildly, knocking the animal away, but the effort cost him his balance. He slipped, sliding back down the muddy slope. When he stopped, a second Compy sprang toward him and sank tiny teeth into his hand. Blood ran quickly between his fingers. Panic shot through him. He turned, scrambling on all fours to climb again. Another Compy landed on his shoulder. He felt a sharp pain at the back of his neck. With a yell, he tore the creature free, throwing it aside. Now they surrounded him completely. They hopped, bobbing their heads, eyes fixed on him. From the bite in his neck, he felt a warmth spreading across his shoulders, sliding slowly down his spine. Lying back on the slope, a strange calm began to settle over him. He felt indifferent. Nothing seemed wrong. In fact, he realized his earlier analysis had been completely mistaken. He lay still as a child in a crib. Peace washed over him. When the next Compy bit his ankle, he made only a half-hearted attempt to kick it away. The little creatures moved closer, chirping, crowding around him like excited birds. Hammond raised his head as another Compy hopped onto his chest. It was surprisingly light, delicate. The pain was almost nothing as it bent down to bite his neck.